Hello everyone, my name is Keith, Amateur Radio Call WD4PTJ. And today we're going to talk about Dxpeditions. A lot of hams that are new to the hobby, as well as some older hams that are just getting into chasing DX, may not be real familiar with what a Dxpedition is. So I'm going to try to give you a little brief description, as well as talk about some exciting news about a Dxpedition to a real rare entity that's coming up in January of 2023. We can define a Dxpedition as a short-term operation from a place that is rare DX to some degree. I made a video recently about the ARRL's DXCC award, which is the most sought after DX award, not just in the United States, but in the entire world. That criteria for what is DX is what we're pretty well talking about when we talk about Dxpeditions. So the purpose of a Dxpedition is to activate DXCC entities that are rarely on the air. Dxpeditions can be small or they can be large. They could be a one-man operation that was done in somebody's spare time during a vacation or a business trip somewhere, or they could be very large Dxpeditions involving several members. Dxpeditions could be to an entity that has a small population and a few hams there that are not very active, especially on HF. Or they could be to an entity that has a small population, no hams, licensed hams at all. Or they could be, in many instances, to an entity, most often an island, where there's no inhabitants whatsoever, so obviously there's no ham radio activity on any kind of regular basis. Dxpeditions to remote, rare locations can be full of a lot of logistics and cost a lot of money. It's not unheard of for Dxpeditions to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, believe it or not. Much of the cost of that, many times when they're going to islands, is to pay for the charter of the boat to get to these rare locations that are very remote. Some of the expense, as far as equipment goes, is offset by donations that ham radio manufacturers of the radios and antennas, coax, and all the different equipment will donate equipment to the Dxpedition, and of course they get advertising as a result of that. So where does the money come from, the rest of the money for a Dxpedition? Well, it can come from, some of it can come from donations from individual hams who want to try to help get this entity on the air. It can come from different ham radio clubs, especially DX clubs. And also, the members of the Dxpedition themselves are usually required to put up quite a bit of money themselves to go on the Dxpeditions. I know an upcoming Dxpedition that the members are putting up $20,000 a piece to go on this Dxpedition. They're spending their money, quite a bit of their money, to help put an entity on the air to help the rest of us get credit for that DXCC entity. Imagine your annual field day operation on steroids, and you might get an idea of what a large-scale Dxpedition would be like. The Dxpedition could last for days and a few weeks, and obviously that requires a lot of food, a lot of fuel. That fuel for the generators to power the radios. At the beginning of this video, I told you that there would be a major Dxpedition beginning of next year. In January of 2023, a group of hams will be going to Bouvet Island to operate from 3 Yankee Zero Juliet. So where is Bouvet Island? I'll show you. Bouvet Island is located in the South Atlantic. You can see it right here. Of course, this is South America over here, Africa, and below is Antarctica. So it's located in a very cold climate and a very isolated area. The news of the Dxpedition to Bouvet Island is very exciting for DXers, as this is number 2 on the DXCC most wanted list. The only entity that's more wanted is North Korea, and I don't think there'll be any activity from North Korea anytime soon. Matter of fact, it could be a pretty good while because of the difficulty of getting there before Bouvet Island is activated again. For some of us hams, older hams, it may be our last chance to really work Bouvet Island. The next time there's a Dxpedition there, if I'm still around, I may be in the old folks' home. And I don't know if they'll let me run a wire antenna out the window to try to work it. So I hope that this has kind of explained a little bit to you what a Dxpedition is and made you aware of the upcoming Dxpedition to Bouvet Island. If you have any questions about Dxpeditions, just ask them in the comment section, and if I can answer them, I'll try. I'll try to put a link to the Bouvet Dxpedition's website below, and possibly links to some of the YouTube videos about the Bouvet Island Dxpedition. As always, if you like this video, click the like button. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want, and hit the notification button. Till next time, 73.